That's my cue in. Hey and welcome. It is Claudia from What's Up, Dog? And Hands to Paws, where we are the home of groom, style, and swag. Not that I look very swaggy this evening, please forgive me. So, tonight, let's see if we get anybody in here. Tonight, I took down the Summer Wells being our official awareness girl. Summer Wells has been missing since June 15th, and her father was arrested today on a DUI charge or a violation of probation. And Chris McDonough from the interview room had a verbal, I can't say exactly his title, a verbal specialist on to discuss the interview at the waterhole. It was super, super interesting. Let me just get the Facebook up too. So because I'm still doing this system. And it was super interesting to hear the different opinions on what was going on with Candace emotionally. So whatever the theories are, whether it was an accident and Candace, the mom of Summer, covered up the incident, that would be incredibly tragic, right? Because she would have lost her daughter and then she would have been in fear. It's this suspect that social services was going out the very next day, and Don Wells was arrested today. So it's been an amazing journey with the true crime community of YouTube because, boy, have they been educational. And I have had the privilege of learning from the true crime community. So let's go through that. I am Claudia, and I am streaming on two platforms tonight. I am streaming on my personal page, which is at Claudia, and then I am streaming on What's Up Dog, where we talk all things dog. Um, that is one word, capital W, capital U, capital D, as in a dog named Wood. And this channel got involved with Summer Wells strictly because of the 21 plus dogs that were on the property, which we were asking for donations to the Hawkins County Humane Society to help with the aid in the dogs on the property. I was able to get some great footage of dog behavior. And I had the privilege of being inspired by a lady who does Michelle of Michelle After Dark or Michelle Walks, where she gives a brand new crime story every Sunday. I'm in Florida, and at my time, it is at 3 p.m. She is wonderful in her commentary. She's easily digestible, and she speaks in real fairness and giving both sides of what could happen um, while creating her content. It is absolutely interview room, Michelle Walks, and my other favorite would be True Crime Exposed. True Crime Exposed stays focused, stays to truth, and has the ability to say if they are not truthful. Then I'm going to give you two of my little gossip channels that, and oh, I shouldn't say that, sounds kind of insulting. I don't mean it that way. But two people that I follow well, I got to back up one more. I want to also say that Josh from the Lab 2.0, boy, what a talent in writing, in an expression, and in an ability to correct himself and to refocus and re-gear very quickly and to maintain dignity while doing that. So Josh from the Lab 2.0, definitely worth following. I feel like Josh is still really developing into who he is going to truly be, but I think he is going to be key, and he's going to be a survivor in the true crime community. We are not a crime channel. What's Up Dog? We'll discuss cases when they have dogs because I'm super interested in the dog content. All right. I got really involved with Summer Wells. And I will follow this case till the end. So two of the channels that have a little more drama content to them, and I found both these channels. I started following both these people because they had a public fight that I inadvertently got involved with, and that is Doug of No Thanks and Ziggy. And I have followed them ever since. And I really like both of them. I don't always agree with them. I don't always agree with their content. However, nothing they have done is something that I don't enjoy and I don't choose to watch and follow. So I would definitely say, and I like their ability to move with what is happening and to teach extremely valuable lessons. I don't feel that either one of these persons doesn't want to give back and isn't willing to be transparent and human. All right, let's go to a little bit more YouTube drama. So, don't you want a hero? Don't you want the good guys always to be good guys? Are you ever disappointed when the good guys are the bad guys? As children, don't we teach our kids that the good guys are in blue and those are the people to be trusted? When they're not doing what they're supposed to do, when they're not holding up that oath, when they're not standing in non-bias and truth, are you disappointed? Don't our children need heroes? Heroes that are men that are safe, that you can run to, that you, if something happens to you, they were the ones that'll come and save you. Isn't that what recently happened with little Cleo? Did you see it? It was wonderful. We're going to get to that next. And I'm going to ask Summer to share her awareness spot because we have a finished and a non-finished. So we have people that are claiming to be heroes on YouTube, and they might be. Because remember, God's never finished with anybody yet. And nobody knows why we're put in each other's paths and why we've given opportunity to witness certain things. But two of these people that are getting, there's this vocabulary word on YouTube. If you're new to YouTube, let me explain to you about some vocabulary. And it's called doxed. And basically, the best way I can say this to you is you're going to get publicly shamed for whatever or whoever it is or whatever you've done. We live in a society now where everything is public. And if they can dig it up, look it up, find a video about it, they're going to share it if there is intention of whatever their intention is. On either side. Because good guys can't be bad guys at the same time. You either are or you are not. But if you perform in the same behavior while you're pointing a finger at another person, that puts you in the same category. That's what it does. So there are two channels, and one that I really thought this guy's going to be our hero. He has everything that it takes. He's super handsome, wears a hat. He's a character. He's a movie star. He's charismatic and speaks well. He's polite and doesn't curse all the time. He treats women in an old-fashioned way. Is he a good guy or is he a bad guy? We don't know. And there's another woman that's been on, and I work with dogs all day. Dogs have to have clean towels when they come into the salon. So I go and I fold towels and I listen to a young woman that lives a very different lifestyle that I live and is friendly and says you all the time and speaks to you in a manner that is so friendly and very engaging that you love watching her channel. And one you're rooting for to be a movie star, and the other one you're rooting for because she has an ability to be so friendly and engaging when she speaks. And then you find out that these people may not be who they say they are. And other YouTubers are calling them mentally ill, and they're doxing them. Well, to whose shame? To whose shame? If they are mentally ill, and you would like forgiveness for the things that you guys have admitted that you've done in the past, such as be addicts, such as have divorces, have disappointments, make public apologies for actions that you have done, isn't somebody that may or may not be suffering from psychosis deserve the same respect? Doesn't bullying work both ways? Isn't it better to take the higher road? And I'd just like to let you know that mental illness per se doesn't mean you couldn't be very, very famous. Now, are these things being done in exploitation of a young girl named Summer Wells? Is that what's happening? Or are Americans allowed to say in whatever form or way they want to say it, what they believe when they're given a platform to do so? Just questions. What do you think? Have you thought these things? Isn't it easier to be the judge and the jury? Could there be a possibility that there are other answers and other things, or that it can go another direction? And no, I don't think that a child should be exploited. And Summer's name gets a lot of attention. It does. And the story will have resolution. Summer has real heroes looking for her. Real heroes looking for her, including hero dogs. And the whole community has kept her name alive. The whole community has kept her name alive. As a group, even with the drama, because a couple of these more engaging, more experienced with publicity and fame have both made similar statements. One of those persons being a female and one of those being a male. And they've both said the more attention and the more scandal something has it, the more they will succeed. And there is truth in that. And there is truth. There's also truth in people having the right to use a platform. And there's also truth in two rights don't make a wrong. And there's also truth in nobody should be using these platforms for exploitation. And there has to be some semblance of respect. So I've been able to get this phenomenal education. I have now, because of the controversy surrounding two of these players in the YouTube community, I'm just going to wait and see what happens. That's all. I don't really have much judgment because I don't believe that is mine to judge. I'm the dog lady, and I believe all dogs are in service to their human beings because all dogs provide therapy in one form or another. That's the truth. That's the truth. So I feel my position needs to be a little more neutral. Now, will I still go on True Crime Exposed and share my opinions? Yes, because I enjoy that sometimes. I really do. I think that I have fair opinions. But will I participate in any of that? No. And will I back off 2 channels? Yes. The reason is this. The reason is one of the channels where I believed a hero was a hero, due to his own behavior, due to the own content that he chooses to put out, due to things that have verbally been spoken that are spiteful, due to public call outs of fighting on live TV, due to other people having to come on and say they had back issues, and it's like they can't even do it. So you can call them out all you want. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Except that might damage the other person, and they shouldn't have to live under threats. Remember, 2 wrongs don't make a right. And that's ridiculous. Just ridiculous. All right. So based on behavior, whoever it is and whoever may hear this, and whatever YouTube you are, you wake up with a new slate every single day. You wake up with a new opportunity, and whatever you're going through, that may need You find your strength in your weakness. And nobody's done with you yet unless you choose to give up on you. So I'd recommend turning those setbacks into a comeback. And if people are using, and they're doing that publicly on YouTube, as soon as you find your voice, there's another young lady that uses her voice to express what happened to her in her childhood. Then use your voice, get rid of the demons, and start doing the other things so that you could be that success. Could you imagine if you're that successful doing it on YouTube? If you weren't, how wonderful you would be and the message you would send. All right, that's my speech for today. Don't you want your good guys to be good guys? It's terrible when the good guys are the bad guys, claiming to be the good guys. It's terrible. Don't you want those people to be biased and non-judgmental and do their job? Don't you want people to do their homework? Don't you want to vet your YouTubers? And a lot of YouTubers in these chats and these panels, they go on because they have an expectation of that person being there and having company and having somebody they can talk to. And it's important. People need that. All right. There was a little girl named Cleo. And Cleo went camping with her family. It was her first time. Her parents were professional campers. And they were in Australia, and they went to this beautiful park. Boy, if I could go to Australia and see this. And while they had this nice tent that had two sides, and Cleo's little sister, who's just a baby, was in her playpen, and she was snug as a bug in her sleeping bag. And right there, a little zipper in between, were her mother and her father. And during that night, a man obsessed with dolls had a window of opportunity. He saw a little bike, pink bike, in front of that tent, and he zipped the tent, and he peeked in and he saw the parents, and he closed, and he went over and he said, and right there on this windy, breezy evening are her parents sleeping soundly, safe, secure, on vacation with their loving little family. And he took the sleeping bag and he took little Cleo. And for 18 days, he had her. For 18 days, there was a search. And in Australia, the parents were questioned. Their behavior was analyzed. They were on the they were not on the behavioral panel like Candace and Doug and Dawn. Sorry, Doug. They were not on the panel, but they were analyzed by it. And the stepfather, who's sweet and soft and kind, he had a nice thing say to her, and she was very stoic. Mom was very stoic. She never publicly broke, but she always kept the focus. Her child is alive. Please help me find my child. Please help me. People, as YouTube would say, doxed her. People judged them. People didn't believe them. Australia put out a reward, a larger reward. The search had to end. They didn't have their daughter, and they had to go home. Could you imagine getting in that car, missing your baby? Your baby's gone. You were sleeping. You woke up. She was gone. You woke up. You looked over. Your child's gone. She had to go home. And within a few miles, 18 days later, the most wonderful Australian, I don't remember his name, police officer says, "What's your name, honey? What's your name?" And that beautiful little child says, "My name is Cleo." And he swoops her up and he brings her home. I followed that story. I followed every day of that story. I followed every update of that story. And I watched that moment as soon as it aired of that police officer. You felt it. You just went, oh my God, they found her. They found her. 60 Minutes, Australia. 60 Minutes in Australia. 60 Minutes in Australia. Oh God, I don't think I'm saying that right. but is close enough for you to go look it up and watch her parents tell everybody how she's doing now. And while you do that, look at the eyes, look at the joy, look at the appreciation and the humility of her child being found. Look at their kindness and listen to them tell the story of how they slept right next to their child as this predator came in and stole her. And that she has real heroes who went in, they did their jobs, and they brought her home. And I believe that Summer would love her very much. And I think that we should also make Cleo an official awareness team pack member. What do you think? And then we have a pack. We have Cleo and Summer. Cleo's story has really just begun, right? Because she's going to have an amazing life and she's going to have a story. All right. And it may not all of us have the most positive stories, but she still has a story of a survivor. And she has a story of such wonderful parents. And then we have Summer, whose story isn't complete. But we know with time, we will know the answers. All right. So I hope you enjoyed that. And we're going to do a little bit. I watched Ziggy's live tonight. Athena's doing great. And there is another guy on Ziggy's live that you would have to go see who just adopted another Yucky puppy. So Yucky was Summer Wells' puppy, but I'm Lucky, but she couldn't say Lucky, so she said Yucky. The 21 dogs on the property, there were just a small amount. There were Yucky's puppies and a recent litter, which Ziggy obviously has one. This gentleman, Josh, now has one. Ziggy's puppy's named Athena. And Athena Moon, Ziggy gives us the privilege of being able to watch her grow up on live and in living color. And I've been doing a short series on puppies from 6 to 8 weeks. Tonight was going to be the drop it and leave it point, but I'm going to end it early and I'm going to pick that up tomorrow. Just because I lost my vigor for it. I apologize because I did put it in the description. So if you came for that or you rewatch it for that, please forgive me. I will do it tomorrow evening. And I did want, because I wasn't on it all last week, and that won't be discussed for a long, long time, but I'm sure you will find it interesting. And I don't have any comments tonight, and I don't see any craziness watching. I forgot my most important part. The other story that has touched so many lives and made so many people famous was Gabby Petito. And in Gabby Petito's case, this true crime community did an amazing job. They are the reason that there was resolution in Gabby Petito's case. They are the reason. It turned out crazy in the Summer Wells case. But the Summer Wells case is crazy. You're talking about DV, you're talking about SA, you're talking about SA rings, you're talking about possible accident, you're talking about a 15-year-old child, you're talking about a cover-up, you're talking about really, really deviant. Jackson, stop it. Can you move? I'm sorry, guys, because he decided to go behind my desk and itch. The whole thing started to shake. And it got really, really wild. You got people going on panels. You've got people doxing people. You've got drama, and this one is going after that one, and it became even, concerning and unsafe. It just drew in this incredibly volatile, perfect storm for craziness, but it brought awareness. Even the hero, who is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is he a movie star? brought in educational information. So don't throw away all the good with the bad. All right. And I understand with the other one that really is a star in her own right. She cannot take content from other people. Content is important. And if you're delivering good content, you're not going to be worried about what other content people are taking. And there should be some fair use. We're putting content out publicly for use. That is what we're doing. But your content is your own. And your subs or your followers are going to follow you because something about you resonates, something about me resonates with you, something about you resonates with me. And then every sub or follower has a choice not to follow. So remember that when you're doing it, you don't have to steal somebody else's content. I'm brand new to YouTube. I barely know anything. It'll take me a good 6 months. I've given myself a 6-month plan to get this channel where I want it to grow. It doesn't have to grow overnight. I am very intentional about monetizing. Very, very intentional about it. And it takes steps. And one of those steps is patience and perseverance and having the ability to come on every night and to let people know that I'm for real. And then to deliver and bring great dog content. And in this case, it happened to involve the dogs, which involves search and rescue dogs, and it involves cadaver dogs, and dogs involve human beings. So it gives us wonderful things of content to talk about. And of course, the DV. Jody Sue, who's a player in this, was the neighbor of Summer Wells. I follow her on her Facebook Lives. And I know there's people that still believe that Jody Sue was involved. I don't know. I don't know the case dynamics. She's the one that heard the scream. I will say this, she's been public ever since it happened. And I will say this, she's a victim of DV, period. And she's been on panels and she's learned so much about YouTube. And she's had craziness happen to her because of this while she was escaping a DV situation. So I'm not the one to make the judgment. She had dogs, right? Every dog is in service. And now I know she has a cat. I don't know if she still has her dogs anymore, but she has a cat. She loves her cat. Loves that cat. And Jody Sue is finally putting up a YouTube channel. That's right, guys. She's finally putting up a YouTube channel. Unfortunately, Jody Sue is so upset with the true crime community that she's intentionally going after people to strike them for content that she didn't feel was appropriate. Guys, content. Being aware. I mean, I'm just got here on YouTube, and I'm definitely not a true crimer, but I am part of the true crime community because this was my introduction, and this is where I've gotten a tremendous education, tremendous, including learning who I should stand behind and who I should not. One of the main things I've learned is to step back and take a minute and watch what these people are going to do. Because don't we all want a hero? And my last live, my heroes are now fighting with each other. My heroes are doxing each other. My heroes are exposing each other. And not all of it is okay. Some of it should be thought about before it's aired by both parties. Or all parties. Or all parties. Because if you want to be forgiveness, you better be willing to offer forgiveness first, or it just won't work out. It's the name of the game of that energy. Humility, forgiveness. Nobody wants to take the higher road, but sometimes you just have to. So I'm appreciative, but I get you. And do you guys all work? How many of YouTubers actually have jobs? I'm just curious. I appreciate anybody that's following. If you're following for the Summer Wells case, I hope that you continue following because I've kind of run out of content other than being a guest on True Crime Exposed, and he switched his times up a little bit. And my schedule was really messed up last week, so I missed a lot. As long as the dogs are good, I've gotten amazing content and amazing things to talk about that with content and amazing footage from all the YouTubers, whether they were liking each other or not liking each other, were able to put out where it came to the dogs, including Chris McDonough, and of course all the wonderful cadaver and search and rescue dogs. I'm going to end with, this was good information. I don't care who it came from. This was great information, and it is a great app. If you are going to get an app concerning your neighborhood and the people in your neighborhood and who your surrounding neighbors are, NSOPW. NSOPW. It'll tell you if you have somebody in your neighborhood you may not want, the level, their charges, and their picture. Great app. NSOPW. And then Gabby Petito, who the YouTubers did such an amazing job and were the reason there was such resolution so quickly in the Gabby Petito case. Her parents opened up a foundation to help other people of missing family members. But most importantly, they gave a sign language hand signal for anybody to be able to use if they were in distress. If you're scared of somebody and you need to get out, you need to say something. And if you can't say something, this is the signal. Police, teachers, mothers, children know the signal. If you are a victim of DV and you are not safe and you cannot verbally or some other way communicate it, you can give this signal. Hug your loved ones tonight. Remember that judgment is a two-way street. If you don't want to be judged, you can't judge. And if you want to be forgiven, you need to offer forgiveness. And if somebody is unhealthy in here, we have come so far in science, in neuroscience, and reasons. Get your loved one a brain scan. Find out what's really going on. Follow people that are worth listening to, that offer non-biased, intelligent, thoughtful, compassionate, caring advice. Support communities that have addiction programs. So instead of just saying, oh, it's because of the drugs, it's because of that, support communities that offer help. Maybe be the person that starts that in your community. DV is a sliding scale. It doesn't work any other way. It starts here and it will down to children and dogs being on the very bottom of that. Don't stop the conversations because there's been some rough waters. Don't stop them. Keep them going. The true crime community as a whole is a caring community. It is human beings. People have the same problems in every walk of life. So keep being transparent, telling your stories, learning and growing. I am a sub and I am a follower and I've been a student and it's been an amazing education. La, 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 la. Let's talk dog tomorrow, where we will continue, which we did not discuss tonight, our series from a 6-week to an 8-week-old puppy. I had started with teeth and development and what they do. I moved on to how to start potty training them. And then we're going to do 2 major commands. My goal being to get that content in, make it short, and then deliver it as 1, 2, 3 when I figure out all the other YouTube stuff and where actually to put it. And yeah, we'll get there. Have a good night. Hug your dogs. Hug your family.